What if everything you thought you knew about the so-called American dream was a carefully constructed illusion? A tantalizing question, isn't it? But let's peel back the layers for a moment. The American dream, a beacon of hope, opportunity, and prosperity, has been the cornerstone of our collective consciousness. But what if it's not the whole truth? What if, for countless citizens, the promise of this dream remains an unreachable mirage? Consider this. Income inequality in America is at its highest since the Roaring '20s. The gap between the haves and have-nots, the 1% and the rest of us, is widening at a disturbing pace. Systemic racism, a persistent and pervasive evil, continues to shatter dreams, creating chasms instead of bridges. The middle class, once the bedrock of our society, is shrinking, the promise of upward mobility fading like a sunset into the horizon. So is the American dream just that, a dream? Consider the story of John and Jane, two individuals living in two very different Americas. Meet John. He's a businessman living in a palatial home on a leafy avenue in a zip code known for its affluence. He's a beneficiary of America's economic system. His wealth is a testament to his hard work, sure, but it's also a product of a system that has favored him at every turn. His investment portfolio grows steadily, his tax burden is light, and his children will likely follow in his footsteps, thanks to an education at top-tier schools and a wealth of connections. Now let's turn to Jane. She's a single mother of two, juggling multiple jobs in a bid to provide for her family. Despite her tireless work ethic and determination, she finds herself struggling to make ends meet. Her wages have stagnated for years, while the cost of living continues to soar. She watches as others prosper while she's left to wonder why the American dream seems just out of reach. John and Jane's lives are worlds apart. Yet they share the same nationality, live under the same flag, and are subjects to the same system. One that seemingly rewards wealth and punishes poverty. This is not a tale of individual failings or personal triumphs. It's a tale of a system that creates two very different Americas. One where the Johns enjoy unprecedented prosperity, and another where the Janes face insurmountable barriers at every turn. It's a tale of a system that perpetuates a vast wealth gap, where the top 1% of Americans hold more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. It's a tale of economic inequality that's not just about dollars and cents, but about the quality of life, opportunities, and the very essence of the American dream. John and Jane's stories are not unique, they're the stories of millions of Americans. Ever wondered why the system seems rigged against people like Jane? Let's delve a bit deeper. The systemic issues contributing to the dark reality of America are many and complex. It starts with money's influence in politics. Wealthy individuals and corporations often have a disproportionate voice in shaping policies, leaving the average Jane feeling unheard and marginalized. Then there's the issue of healthcare. The lack of affordable healthcare is a significant burden for many. Despite being one of the wealthiest nations, America still grapples with providing its citizens with accessible, affordable healthcare. Finally, consider the inadequate minimum wage. It's hard to imagine thriving when the wage doesn't even cover basic living expenses. The gap between the rich and the poor continues to expand, creating a stark contrast in living conditions. It's a system that needs a fundamental change, not just cosmetic fixes. So, where do we go from here? We find ourselves at the crossroads of despair and hope, but despair won't be our guide. It's time to chart a new course, a path forward, illuminated by our collective will to address and correct the dark realities we've unmasked. Policy changes are a crucial part of this journey. We need to push for legislation at all levels that promotes equality, justice, and opportunity for all, not just a privileged few. But change doesn't just happen at the policy level. It starts with us, at the grassroots level, where our collective voices can echo the loudest. From community organizing to peaceful protests, our actions can shake the foundations of the status quo. And never, ever, underestimate the power of your vote. It's the most potent weapon we have in our democratic arsenal. Use it to elect leaders who recognize these issues and are committed to addressing them. The future of America depends on us understanding its dark reality and taking action to change it.